What's up guys, I'm back with another vlog and today I wanted to speak to you about the last video, the KTM 390 Adventure new software that has been released for all the old gen bikes. That includes 2021 and the 2020 390 Adventure. I own a Triumph. So today I wanted to speak to you about the software in detail so that it'll be much more helpful to understand what exactly this software helps the rider and the bike with. So basically it's about the traction control on the bike. So I know a lot of people are aware about the traction control, but let me just make it a little bit more simpler to make it understand. So a traction control system is basically it's an electronic device that helps the vehicle to be stabilized and to have control over the bike. It may be car or a bike or anything. It's a super bike or adventure bike, no matter what kind of vehicle it is. It helps the vehicle to have traction and have a good stability on the road so that it doesn't make the bike or the vehicle slip off the road and also to prevent from accidents.
Nice.
So this year KTM launched the 390 Adventure with the riding modes. Now what exactly this riding mode is and how is it helpful for all the adventure riders? Now we had an impression that this kind of a software and this mode will not be released for the 2020 and the 2021 model, but finally a couple of months back KTM and Bajaj finally agreed and they got this software for the old gen bikes as well. Now this mode was already there on the bike, however it was just the software, basically just like a key that was required to be installed on the bike and that's it, to get the mode activated and so that it can be useful for the old gen bikes as well and for all the riders. It doesn't matter if it is a 20 model or a 21. Now it is available on all the three models: 20, 21, 22. 22 is the official release of the software, but you do get on the old gen bikes as well. So on the dashboard, you only get the ABS and the MTC option on the TFT display of the 390 Adventure. So MTC is basically the traction control and ABS as usual. It's completely explanatory for everyone. So ABS, you had two options, that was off-road and road, and MTC on and off. So that is the main thing, the MTC, the traction control, where everyone had a problem when you're taking it on off-road. If the bike stalls, so as soon as you again start the bike, the MTC again by default resets back to its actual setting. That means it gets activated, it switches on. Now that was the biggest problem. So traction control on off-road terrain, we always prefer that it needs to be off. The reason being that helps the ABS on the rear wheel to be off so that you can slide the bike wherever you can, so that it will be much more easier for you to handle the bike on off-road. But this was a big challenge. So the new model, the 22 model, and with the new software that came with the riding mode, helped us to use the bike to its full potential.
Yeah, boy.
So the new software on the old gen as well as on the new gen is the same. So if you go to the settings options, you will find the riding mode a new feature that is activated and seen on the TFT display. So when you select that, you get two options. One is the street and the other one is the off-road mode. So now, before you start the bike, and if your ignition is on, if you see on the TFT, if the riding status is on street and the ABS is on road, and if you see the traction control is on, so I'll go to the settings, and if I change it to off before starting up the bike, the settings has been changed. Now as soon as I start the bike, you can see that the traction control automatically switches back to on by the default settings. Now this doesn't work. Now I thought that maybe there's some kind of a change that is required, so let me try in a different way. Now since the bike is on right now, before shifting the gear, so I thought let's keep the settings as it is, as street as the ride, ABS as the road, and the traction control I change it to off, and I shift my gear. As soon as I shift my gear, the settings remains the same. Now my bike has stalled, so I will again start my bike. As soon as I start my bike, you can see the traction control automatically changes back to on. So the traction control doesn't work in.
Damn!
So coming to the most important part, why the riding mode has been given and what is its sole purpose. Now, as I mentioned in the beginning, it's only for the traction control, helps you to ride your bike, the adventure bike, on off trail without any problem, and sliding as much as you can and have fun to its maximum level. Reason, let me tell you, if you see over here, I have kept my riding mode on off-road, the ABS on off-road, and the traction control I'm switching it off. Now the bike is on for sure, it's already started. However, before shifting, I am making the changes. So as soon as I make the changes, you can see the settings has been applied. Now as soon as I shift my gear and move ahead, the settings remains the same. Now I'll purposely stall the bike. So what happens is the settings remain the same. Now the most important thing that you need to check. Now this happens normally on off-road. So if you're climbing up the hill or going down the hill or somewhere in a very tough terrain, or if you are not able to keep the bike on at that particular period of time, and if your bike stalls due to some odd reason, so going back again to the settings and changing the traction control back to off to avoid that, if you see over here, as soon as I start my bike, which is already on the first gear, you can see the settings remains the same. Off-road, and off, the MTC, that is the traction control, remains off. And that is the only reason why the riding mode has been given. To avoid going back to the settings and changing the MTC from on to off again and again, which we always used to do on the old gen bikes. So what happens over here, the ABS is active on the front wheel and the normal brakes are functional on the rear, whereas the ABS remains off. This helps you to slide your bike to the maximum level and you can play on the bike, and that helps you to have more stability on the off-road trails and enjoy to the maximum. So guys, if you like what I had shared you with in regards to the new software that has been provided by KTM for the old gen and the new gen, so please do share your comments and ask questions if you have, and I'll be seeing you on the next vlog. So ride hard, ride safe, keep loving, and I love you all guys, and thank you for commenting as well. Take care, love you, bye.